when I read it, there was just something about it that I read it and I finished the play and I thought, that would be so hard to direct. But my goodness, that is amazing. I just want to direct it. And I knew right from the start that it was going to be hard to do. Rather than just a play that follows time, there was a lot of going back and forth. And I think it was just the including real life magic into this play and just discussing what is a miracle. I just found it very interesting.
A book was lent to me by a friend, Mark and I read through. It was the first play that I read, and it was the first play I got all the way through without going to sleep. And then I read some more and I came back to that one, and I read some more and I came back to that one, and finally I just went, no, I've got to do this play. It just keeps talking to me.
I was really our director's friendly face, because I saw him in the street one day and he saw Ned in the street and he was like, hey man, I'm directing a play this year and there's a character in it which I think would really suit you. And I was like, thanks. So I really like acting, and I've been wanting to do more of it, and this was an opportunity to do that.
My brother did them the year before, so he had a lot of fun with that, and I was like, oh man, and because I'm a reasonably dramatic person, so I wanted to be able to release that somehow.
Well, I did it last year and it was a great experience. I really loved it. You make so many new friends and you learn so many new skills, and you know, I really wanted to do it again this year.
A lot of my friends have done it, so I was like, I might as well try it because it sounded like fun and thought it would be a good experience.
Just my sister was in all the other plays from all through her high school years, and I saw it in the newsletters. And
Well, I was in the plays last year as a monkey, and I just thought, I just might try again and see if I can actually get a speaking part this time.
I've always been interested in theatre, so I thought it would be a good experience.
It was mostly friends that introduced me to it, and that made me want to get involved. But it was also, I've always thought that play production would be a really good, enjoyable experience. So.
Well, I did the youth plays last year and they were really fun then.
I'd seen a couple of plays like at the hall before, and I just thought, yeah, that'd be pretty cool to get into.
All my friends were in it and like have auditioned and stuff, and that basically led me to it.
I've been on stage since I was little, but I've never really acted. I've always been dancing, and it was something different and something that I wanted to try out.
We played some warm-up games.
Drama games.
Drama games.
Lots of games.
Drama games.
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 Drama games. Games.
Drama games.
A whole heap of games.
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 A lot of games.
To start off with, just to as an icebreaker and to get everyone used to acting in front of each other, we played some warm-up games and they were great. Then from there we did A-B monologues. So just got two people up on stage, read out a simple script, and just saw how they worked with each other.
Which we all filmed, which was really good because I didn't know anybody, so I kept going, Ned, hey, who's that person? And what's that person's name? And psst. So that was really, really helpful to have it filmed and to be able to go back over and do that.
Gave us some scripts, did some dialogues to check our chemistry with other people, and some monologues to check our chemistry with ourselves.
So the directors could get a grasp on how we would be in certain characters.
And they sort of, got us doing like improvisation.
Then read a few scripts where you interpret what it means, so you act out whatever scenario you think the lines fit with.
And then eventually we were called to tell us whether we got the part or not.
To start off with, it was really difficult because there was a play on at the time we were rehearsing. So we had to work out times, working around each other.
We did a lot of line reads and just particular scenes before the school holidays. Then I gave the kids a stern warning before the school holidays and said, you're not having holidays, you're learning your lines. I want them known when you come back.
We started out with like 2 hours a week and then increased it to 4 hours a week.
It became apparent that one rehearsal a week wasn't going to be enough for us.
And then after the holidays, after we had to go home and learn our lines, we came back. We did Sundays and Thursdays.
For the first few rehearsals, we started off by playing drama games.
A couple of hours once a week and just going through lines.
At first we just picked particular scenes.
Reading all the lines out and then trying to get it down without a script.
The first time you just come in, read it. We did a lot of reading.
Mostly as just read-overs, but then progressed to acting.
And then eventually adding some movements and voices and build it up from there.
From the first time I read it, I had some ideas of how I wanted to stage it, such as the raised level at the back of the stage. And I knew I wanted a wall in there, a graffiti wall. Crystal had an idea of wanting to have a forest, so we sort of collaborated on that and decided on something that worked for both plays.
I was actually went and saw Wicked in Melbourne, and I was watching it, and you know, completely different scale, but I saw this green archway and I went, I'm having that. And my river, I knew from the start I wanted a river following the stage, and I've been very protective of my river, and it's lasted, so I'm very happy.
For me, it was, I felt very sorry for the lighting people. It was a nightmare for them. There was something like 58 cues in a one-act play, which is huge. And I tried to help them out as much as I can, making it as simple as I can, and even just separating the play up into little sections where action's taking place, and telling them where the action will be taking place on stage, just so they can prepare for when we were actually rehearsing and adjust minutely from there.
I didn't really know a lot about lights. I knew what I wanted it to look like, and again I knew behind the scrim I wanted it quite bright, and the river, and then I just sat in with Liz and John, and she showed me things and I'd go yes, or she'd show me things and I'd go no. And we just kind of worked our way through that, so it was a bit me listening to her suggestions.
A lot of patience and, I don't know, a little bit more self-confidence.
Yeah, I've learned a lot more about the process of how the production works.
Being able to work with people that you're not used to hanging out with and spending time with, but still getting along with them.
I was always real conscious, and that's why I didn't want to get up on stage. But then when you do this, you're not even being yourself anyway, you're being someone else. But like, people still tend to judge you, but it doesn't really bother me anymore now.
Never wear sunnies on stage, because it makes you look like a tool.
You know, I'm going to sound really corny and cliche and all that, but yeah, just be yourself.
That it's not as easy as everything else I've done.
Yeah, I was ridiculously nervous, and unlike most people, how, you know, after the first scene they melded into it, I was still nervous until the very end. Like, at the end of the bows, I finally relaxed and I was like, yay!
After I'd been on stage for the first time, in the first scene, I thought, well, that was pretty easy. If I can do that, I can do the rest. And
I was feeling a bit sick from eating at the wrong times, and except then when I got on stage, it was just like welcoming back an old friend, and just trying to ignore the sea of faces in the blackness and just existing in the world we were attempting to create.
oh, I was heaps nervous at the beginning, but when I got up on stage and said the first line, straight afterwards I felt fine, just like it was a rehearsal.
Really nervous because it's my first show ever, so I was nervous and excited because my family was there.
I was really, really nervous, and then on the first scene I was a rock holding a hoop, and then when I got up I was like, oh, I can be a rock holding a hoop, well, I can do this.
2 minutes before I went on stage it got really, really bad, which was annoying because you kind of expect it to be something which you get used to after, you know, the first day or anything. But then after I got on stage and got in the swing of everything, it was okay.
Amazing. Very stressful. I've definitely come out with a lot more respect for other directors. And I'm just so glad that I picked the play I did, rather than opting for something that was, you know, a beginner's play or something that was easier. And I think that anyone who has a huge passion for theatre, then directing a Youth Connections play is a really good way to go about it.
Yeah, really happy with it actually. I was kind of a bit nervous because I chose a sad play, and I kind of know that audiences like to walk away feeling happy, so I knew that was going to be a little bit of a concern for me, but I think that the message got across, and I was really happy, and the cast has really bonded really well. They've been a beautiful bunch of people, and Ned has been amazing to work with, so it's great. Like, I'd love to do it again sometime.